So hi viewers, welcome to our show, and today we are excited to be talking about something different, and this is natural foods, for what most of us will refer to gluten-free foods. But I'm avoiding the name gluten-free because natural foods, there's flour, there's jam, there's marmalade, there's ketchup, but we limit ourselves to the flour, hence the name gluten-free. The reason why we're going to do this video is because most individuals with special needs like autism are inclined to feed on gluten-free products, natural ketchup, mangoes, because they have to grow and enjoy food like the rest of us. And that is why today we have the founder of Somewhat Natural Foods, who is going to take us through the journey of how she started, what she sells, and how she encountered the community of people and parents with children with special needs. So without further ado, I'll ask her to introduce herself.
Thank you. Okay, my name is Karine Asamba. I am one of the directors of Somewhat Natural Foods, and we started this company 4 years ago this year, and it's been an interesting journey because how we started, I would call it a miracle, or something that we didn't really plan to do. So my husband has been a banker for more than 27 years, and he was planning on retirement. And he decided, because he loves farming, he decided to plant passion fruit because, for commercial basis. And so he planted the passion fruit, and he approached a certain company that was making juices, fresh juices. So he approached the company, and they agreed that he would be supplying that company with passion fruit every week. So that is how, he started. So he would work, and he hired some people on the farm to plant for him. And every Saturday, he would go and harvest his crop, and he would text this, the owner of the company, and tell them, okay, this week I have harvested X kilos of passion fruit. And, she would say, oh, great, so supply on Monday. So he hired a temporary driver who would come early every Monday morning, collect the produce, and deliver to her. And it went on well, and we were thinking of how to scale it up. Then the time he harvested the most, that is 500 kilos, he texted this lady as usual, on Saturday after going to the farm, and he tells her, oh, this week I have harvested 500 kilos of passion fruit.
Yeah.
To his dismay, she said, no, please do not deliver this week because I've already bought a lot and my stores are full, so I cannot take any more. So we were at a dilemma. We were so confused. We were wondering, now what do we do? Because we have 500 kilos of passion fruit that we don't know what to do with.
Did you used to have storage then for all that kind of fruits?
No, we didn't have storage because we would harvest on Saturday and deliver on Monday. So we'd leave, he would go with the van, load the van, and come back in the evening on Saturday. And Monday, very early in the morning, the driver would come, drive the van to her place, offload. So there was no storage. The storage was, the van.
So now you are stuck with fruits in a van.
In a van, not knowing what to do with it. So, we are born-again Christians, and we believe in prayer. So we went and we prayed together as a family, and we asked God to provide a client to buy these fruits, because now we didn't know what to do with them. And these are perishable products.
Yes.
So God is faithful, because on Monday morning when he went to the office, a stranger just called him and told him, hey, I don't know who has given me your number, but I was told that you sell passion fruit. So, he said yes, and he told her that, I have these kilos, and she said, oh, please bring everything tomorrow. In fact, she wanted it the same day, but because he was in the office, he hadn't made any arrangements. They agreed that he would deliver on Tuesday, which is what he did. So, it went well. After that, now he had 2 clients to supply his passion fruit to. However, he vowed never to get into that situation again, because it was very stressful. And he said that he was going to find a way to add value to his crop, because we realized that these are challenges that are faced by farmers in Kenya. I don't know about other countries, but in Kenya we find that most people plant at the same time, because most of the crops are seasonal. So people plant at the same time, the harvest is the same time, because anyway, the rainy seasons dictate when people should plant. And then everybody harvests the same time, so then the market gets flooded with the same product. Then now some people are willing to sell their product at throwaway. Some have it wasted because there's no one buying, because there's a bumper harvest.
Yeah.
More, less demand than what is available. Yeah, so he researched, and he came up with the first product, our first product, which is whole passion jam, which is passion jam which has seeds, as you can see. It has seeds.
Yeah.
And we started making this passion jam and supplying it to the office, because he was still working in the bank. So he would go and harvest every Saturday. And when he brings the produce, he would not sell all of it. Some of it he would make the jam and supply to offices, and some of it he would deliver to the two clients that he had. And we would get different feedback from the people in the office. Of course, we were not packaging like this. It was just a plain plastic jar. We didn't have any label or anything. And the friends and colleagues would give their feedback. They would say, some of them would say they didn't want to crunch on the seeds, but they liked the taste. So he came home and he was like, oh, what do we do? Some people don't want the seeds, some want the seeds. People are different.
Yeah.
So I told him, okay, fine, let me take it up from there, and I see how I can remove the seeds. So I went and researched, and I came up with a way of how to remove the seeds, and we came up with this passion jam, which does not have seeds. It is smooth, as you can see. Yeah, so we ended up with two products, passion jam and whole passion jam. So we would supply to the supermarket, to the colleagues in the office, and it went on well. Then there was a certain supplier in the supermarket, who we got to know is a relative, and this, she liked our jam because we would also share with friends and relatives and get their feedback. So she said, oh, I like your passion jam, and there's no passion jam in the market. Why don't you give it to me, package it the way I want, and then I'll put my label and we sell it to the supermarket, because she was already supplying to the mainstream supermarkets. And we did that, and to our amazement, the product was selling. It was doing very well. And we developed even other products, because now she told us, okay, if you want to go to the market and supply with your own brand, you cannot just supply two products. You have to develop others. So we went and researched and came up with other products. Like now our mango and cinnamon jam, we have plum and cinnamon, we have pineapple and ginger. So in all we have 7 varieties of jam. And our jams are spiced, most of them, and we spice them with the natural spices. We don't add any preservatives or artificial flavors. It's just the fruit, and we add very little sugar, so that the jam is healthy, and then you also get to taste the real fruit. So that's why our jams are low sugar. They are written low sugar because KEBS, before they certified us, because our jams did not meet the sugar standards of international standards for jam. our sugars are very low, so they told us for them to certify us, we had to put the low sugar, you know, on our label.
Yeah.
So all our jams and marmalades are low sugar. Yeah, so we decided now to come up with a brand, and we registered a company with my husband, and we started now producing these products and going to the market.
Okay.
So we had the jams, 7 varieties, and we came up also with low sugar marmalades, and we have 5 varieties, and our marmalades are also spiced. We have orange marmalade, we have orange marmalade with ginger, orange marmalade with cinnamon, orange marmalade with cardamom, and what is it? Orange marmalade smooth. That is blended, everything is blended, so it is smooth like jam. For those who like the taste of marmalade, but they do not like crunching on the rind.
Yes.
Yes. So those are the jams and the chutneys. We also have 5 varieties of chutneys. We have mango chutney, we have passion chutney, we have plum chutney, and we have Bilimbi Chutney.
What's Bilimbi?
Bilimbi is a coastal fruit. It looks like a cucumber, but it's a small size, smaller than a cucumber, and it has a tangy taste. Yeah.
Okay.
So we usually pickle it,
Yeah.
you know, and use it, eat it with food.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I made chutney out of it. Yeah. So those are our first products. That was 4 years ago. That's what we started with. And then my husband now decided to take early retirement, and we both now concentrated on the business. However, we discovered that those products were very few, and the Kenya market is not that big to sustain us for just those few products. So we realized we had to expand our product range in the supermarket. So again, we went on research, and every time before we would come up with a new product, we would go to the supermarkets and look around what is there, and we always want to come up with what is not in the market, because we don't want too much competition from the big brands that have been there for years.
Yeah.
So we try and, you know, give people a quality product that is different from what is in the market. For example, our jams are spiced, and most of the jams in the market are just plain jams. Like you would find plum jam, but ours is plum with cinnamon. Yeah, just to give a difference and, you know, a variety, and make it even healthier, because these spices are also good for our health. Yeah, so we went on research, and we realized that there are ketchups in the market, but they're only tomato ketchups. And all these brands, including the international brands that are selling in our supermarkets, they only have plain tomato ketchup. So we thought, okay, because we like eating food with chili, and we're like, isn't there someone out there who wants, you know, tomato ketchup with a bit of chili? So you don't need to eat to mix your tomato ketchup with the tomato sauce, or hot chili sauce, you know. Why can't we combine that together? So we came up with 3 varieties of tomato ketchup. That is plain tomato ketchup. We have spicy tomato ketchup for those who want little chili, and hot tomato ketchup for those who like their food hot. And then we also decided to make mango ketchup, because we have a lot of mangoes, and when it is mango season, there's so much mangoes that a lot of it actually goes into waste. So somebody came to repair our dryer, and as we were having a conversation and showing them, you know, the products we have, and they saw our tomato ketchup, they were like, oh, you make ketchup? And he mentioned to me that, you know, long time ago when my kids were young, there's a certain lady who used to make for us mango ketchup, and my sons used to love it. So I was like, you mean there is something called mango ketchup? I've never heard of it. So I went on research, and I realized that there's a lot of mango ketchup in the Philippines, I guess because they have also a lot of mangoes. So I researched, and I, you know, tried here and there, you know, different recipes. my own on how to make mango ketchup, and we came up with mango ketchup, you know, which was interesting because many people expect ketchup to be red.
Yeah.
And now we put mango ketchup in its natural color, which is yellow. So people would go to the supermarket, and on the shelves where there's ketchup, they would find this yellow stuff and it's written mango ketchup. So, you know, they would be curious and they would buy it. So we have it in 3 different sizes: 250 grams, which is smaller than this, 400 grams, which is this size, and a bigger size, 700 grams. So initially, the 250 grams sold a lot, and you know, I suspect it was just to sample.
Yeah.
And people loved, you know, the ketchup. So now we are selling all the sizes.
Yes.
And what is different about our ketchup is that we use 67% of the fruit. So like our tomato ketchup, we use 3/4 of the ketchup is actually the tomato. And even the mango ketchup, 3/4 of it is the mango. And we buy mangoes, not pulp. We actually pulp it ourselves to be sure that we're actually using the real thing, because you can buy pulp and you don't know what is mixed in there.
Yeah.
So we buy our own mangoes. The tomatoes, we even grow them in our own farm where we are growing our passion fruit. We also grow our own tomatoes, and we use that to make our tomato ketchup. And the other 1/3 is spices, water, and we use the real spices. We do not use any flavoring in our products.
Yeah.
We use the real product, and we use the spices like ginger, garlic, cinnamon, and all these spices. We buy them actually whole,
Yes.
and we blend them together. So our products are natural. So we use natural preservatives for our products that need to be preserved. Like now the ketchup needs to be preserved because we are packing it in a plastic jar. But for the jams, because we can them, that process of canning in the glass jar does not need any preservative. And so the product can last on the shelf up to 2 years or even 3 years without going bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have 3 different flavors for both the mango ketchup and tomato ketchup. That is the plain for those who don't like chili at all, the spicy, which has very little chili, and the hot for those people who like their food hot.
Yeah.
So that is our ketchup range. And then we wanted also to go into dried foods, dried flours. And I have issues with gluten. It's not really a serious issue. It's just that when I eat wheat, let's say chapatis or mandazis, I feel bloated and uncomfortable. And so I wanted to substitute the wheat with something else. So I went to the supermarket and I looked around and I looked for gluten-free flours. But what I found was just mainly imported flours, which were very expensive and out of reach of most Kenyans. So then I told myself, don't we have, tubers in this country that we can dry and make flour out of them? So that is how I came up with, again, I went on research and I realized I could actually dehydrate sweet potatoes, arrowroot, cassava, and all, and come up with flour. And I bought a few from the market, dried them, and ground them into flour. And I realized I can use them to make whatever it is that people use wheat to make, like now chapos, mandazis, and everything else. Yeah, so we went now into making flours. So because we wanted to give people, quality product, and we wanted to know how the product is planted, we had to go around the country, in the farms to get to know farmers and deal directly with them, and also get to know how the crop is grown. So that's what we did, and now we have suppliers. We work with smallholder farmers, you know, they have like chamas, so they grow their crops. Maybe someone has maybe 1 acre or 2 acres. They grow however much they can, and they come together like a cooperative, and they sell from there. So that is how we get our produce from, our sweet potatoes, our arrowroot, our cassavas. We buy from farmers, and we dry ourselves. We have a dryer, and we grind, and we come up with flours. So we have arrowroot flour. We have 8 varieties of flour. So we have arrowroot flour, we have cassava flour, we have sweet potato, orange flesh sweet potato, we have green banana. And like green banana, we dry it with the skin, because the skin is very nutritious. So we dry it with the skin, we grind it. We have pumpkin flour, and the pumpkin, we do not separate the seeds. We dry it together with the seeds, because the seeds are also very nutritious. So our flour contains the seeds, so you get the benefit of the zinc that is in the seeds. We have butternut flour. We have, which is the other one? Yeah, we have carrot flour, yes. We have carrot flour as well. So 7 varieties, and we also have them in 2 different sizes, 250 grams and 500 grams. And cassava flour, because many people love it, we have 1 kilo in cassava flour only. Yes. Okay. Then we also have xanthan gum and cornstarch. These are additives that are used together with the gluten-free flours to be able to blend them together and make them as close as possible to wheat. Like now, xanthan gum, we use it to make the gluten-free flours sticky, because wheat is sticky and you're able to knead it, but these flours don't have that. So you use xanthan gum, which is a natural product. It's made from sugar, some residue from sugar. And then it is, you just put a little, like 3 grams, 2 grams from a 500 gram quantity of flour. And when you add xanthan gum, it actually becomes sticky like wheat. So you're able to roll it, you're able to make chapos, mandazis, or whatever it is that you would like. Yeah, so those are some of our products. We also have coconut oil, which is, our coconut oil is virgin, so it is pure white. It doesn't have any residue at the bottom of the bottle. And you can use it for cooking, you can use it for drinking, you know, for health purposes. You can use it for your hair, for your skin. It's multi-purpose, but it's mainly for cooking, you know, yes. So this is our xanthan gum, and our coconut oil. It's virgin coconut oil. You can see how pure and white it is. Yeah. And we also have another product which is not very well known. It's activated coconut charcoal. This is also a very good product for detoxing and issues with the stomach. You know, if you have a running stomach or you have food poisoning, you just take a tablespoon with a glass of warm water, not hot, and mix it and drink it with the residue. So what it does, it binds itself to the poison and it flushes it out. So you find that you get relieved within a very short time. It's also very good for toothache. If you have a toothache and, you know, those maybe it's at night and, you know, you can't access a dentist at that time. If you mix it with a coconut oil and you just put it where the tooth is aching, it is able to draw out the poison and you get instant relief. Yes. It's also good for people who drink alcohol and they get, you know, what is it called, hangovers the following day. That is because alcohol is poison. So when you take activated coconut charcoal, it relieves the hangover because it removes the poison that is in the stomach. So it's also good for that. And it's also good for scrubbing the face for ladies. You know, if you You want, to remove the
dead skin.
And what you can also use it as a mask. You just mix it with the coconut oil. It's also good for burns. If you are burnt, you just mix it with coconut oil, apply it on the burn. It will dry up and come out, there will be no scar, and it will not blister. So it's a very good product to have in the house, as a first aid thing. Also for wounds, let's say if you have a child who has fallen down and bruised themselves, just sprinkle, a bit of that powder. It will be black, but it will bind on the wound and it will dry up. And a few days, it will just come out. There'll be no scar. So it's a very good product, even though not many people know about it. But then after the flours now, our clients on social media, because we don't have a budget, to advertise on the mainstream media and on these advertising platforms like billboards, because it's very expensive. And we just started this business with my husband with our savings. So we decided to use the social media platform, that is Facebook and Instagram, to advertise. So occasionally we would run adverts, but every day we would post about our different products. So, we had followers, and people would ask, okay, we like your gluten-free flours, but what do we do with them? Are you able to make like bread? Are you able to make, all this stuff that people make with wheat, but with gluten-free flours? So I went around, I looked for the big bakeries and I asked them if I could supply them with my flours, and then they make the breads or pastries. But nobody seemed to be interested, because they said it was an expensive venture, because they would have to invest in a totally new bakery, because you cannot mix gluten with gluten-free. So they had to come up with, totally new bakery, invest in new ovens, new mixers, and all the, equipment. So people are not really interested, because it is a new thing in Kenya. Okay, in developed countries, there is a huge market, even in Kenya, but, being a new thing, being introduced, people are not willing to take the risk. So then I decided to, invest in it myself. So I came up with a bakery, and we decided to make gluten-free bread. So now we have 10 varieties of gluten-free bread. We have all in 4 different types, that is sweet potato, arrowroot, cassava, and pumpkin. So we have 2 varieties of sweet potato, that is sweet potato bread cake, and then we have vegan. Vegan is for people who don't eat eggs or any animal products. So we have a variety for them in the sweet potato, cassava, arrowroot, and pumpkin in vegan. Then we have the gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free, where we have the products when we put eggs in it. And then we have another variety, which is 2 types, only in pumpkin and arrowroot. There we have eggs, but we don't put any sweetener. That is, we call it diabeta, for people who are maybe, don't want to take sugar or have conditions that does not allow them to have any sweetener. And then we also don't put sugar in our breads. We use jaggery, which is a healthier form of sugar, and we use very little. So for those who find our breads not sweet enough, like what is in the, like the wheat breads, we always encourage them to buy our jams, which are low sugar, and that way they're able to sweeten their breads. Yes. So we're in the process of coming up with more products of gluten-free, ready to eat. That is muffins, cookies, and all these other products. So we are in the research mode, but soon you'll find them in the market.
Yeah.
So thank you.
So I think you've heard for yourself, like everything you want, you can find it in natural form. The flours, the ketchup. For me, Honestly, I just want you to try the mango ketchup. I have tried it on samosa, so I'm giving you my word. Then they have the dried pineapples with mint. If you are a lover for pineapple with mint juice, come and try this one. They also have pineapple, dried ginger, you know. Yeah, and that is it for today. But before we log off, we want to ask you, where can we find your products?
For people who shop in supermarkets, you can find us at Carrefour, Quickmart, and Chandarana supermarkets. And for the online shoppers, we are at, you'll find us on Mzizi and Jumia platforms. So if maybe you're not in Nairobi or Mombasa, Nanyuki, Nakuru, where these supermarkets have a presence, then you can order online through Mzizi or Jumia. And you can also find us on our social media platforms, that is Samoa Natural Foods on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. And you'll get our recipes there. We post our recipes of how to make our normal Kenyan foods using the gluten-free products.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you've heard for yourself. We're going to put the links to her social media, and then we're going to leave her contacts and maybe an email address so you can reach her if you want to make an order directly from her. I think you guys can organize that. So until next time, keep well.